Hello there, and welcome back. My name is Rhett Downing, and I'm a master's student in mass communication with a strong research focus in communication studies and interpersonal relationships. So I was going over some of my videos, and my goodness, am I a serious person? I mean, I can only suspect that since I'm a writer or something, I just soak in emotions like a sponge, and it makes me very passionate, very serious individual. So I figured, you know what, today we're going to be going over something a little bit more cool, a little bit more relaxed, straightforward, that sort of thing, and that is the social penetration theory. And it makes a lot of sense, and I love hearing about it. So, let's begin. Social penetration describes the process of bonding that moves a relationship from superficial to the more intimate. Social penetration is specifically accomplished through self-disclosure, which is the purposeful process of revealing information about oneself. A lot of crazy, good vocabulary words in here, man. Self-disclosure, bonding that moves a relationship from superficial to the more intimate. That's great. So if you want to become more intimate with someone, consider self-disclosure. Great, straightforward things, right? So self-disclosure increases intimacy in relationships to a certain point. Now, it's also worthy to note that there's this oftentimes an underlying aura in intimate relationships, for instance, romantic ones, that we ought to tell our partner everything. But when it comes to interpersonal communication theory, there's research that suggests having secrets about yourself can be very beneficial. Now, there's a balance among all of this stuff. There's a balance among self-disclosure versus non-disclosure, and there's a balance of having a few secrets with your partner versus not. So maybe one of these days we'll go over it, and I'll actually get some articles on that evidence. Damn, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Probably because I'm not being serious. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. The whole point of my video, the onion model is a useful metaphor for describing how social penetration theory operates, elaborating on social penetration as a process through which people peel back others' layers of personal information through interpersonal interaction to reach the core. Ogres are like onions. People are also like onions. He had a point. It takes time to reach another's core self, which is the most intimate details about another person. Now, this is highlighted in red. Why? It takes time. It takes time. So if I come up to you and just dump all my trauma and emotion on you, there's a good chance you're going to be a little shocked. And you might not like the interaction after you leave it. Now, trauma bonding is a thing. You know why? Look at this. It's beautiful. It's down here. I'll get to it in a minute. Norm of Reciprocity. I come up to you. I dump my trauma. You might feel a compulsion to do the exact same thing because of the norm of reciprocity. So let's get to that. For relationships to develop, there must be an exchange of information. If you think about it, you go up to somebody, you try talking to them, and they don't say anything at all, you're not going to stick around for very long, right? So this is where the norm of reciprocity comes in. And it suggests that when a person discloses something, the responder is obligated to disclose something at the same level of intimacy to maintain the norm of or equity. Why do you think so many people trauma bond? Why do you think trauma bonding is a thing? I come up to you, give you all my trauma, and you feel obligated to do the exact same thing to maintain that level of equity. Yeah, they described it perfectly. I can't even think of a synonym. Great. Love this stuff. So, all of this, I'm going to include this in the description. All of this is talking about stages, and it gets a little bit more in depth, but I didn't necessarily want to do that. Why are you highlighting? Oh, no, that just popped up red. Right, so all of that, yep, I would like for you to go through it because it's in depth, baby. But I did want to talk a little bit about depenetration. And that social depenetration, de-escalation, or dissolution is also possible when self-disclosure is reduced as a result of interpersonal conflict and relational stressors. Think about when you've been in a relationship for a while and it starts to deteriorate. Here's one of the reasons why. Y'all might stop talking completely. One of y'all might sense a shift going on. Oh, they're not talking to me like they used to. Or let's use a different example. How's about you're just starting to date somebody and it starts off great. Y'all talk really well on the dates, y'all get along really well, all those sorts of things. Now when it comes to the fourth or fifth date, they pull back. They don't talk to you as much. They don't say the exact same things. They don't keep a conversation going. Suddenly they're too busy. You see, there's a shift and you can sense it. Well, especially because you compare it to what it used to be. So it's like, well, what's going on here? Yeah, think about it. So social depenetration, I'm right over here, is the deliberate closing off of some portions of a person's life to his or her partner. The dissolution process can signal relationship disintegration or relationship renegotiation. Very important. You sense these sorts of things, maybe you ought to renegotiate. Maybe you ought to keep it open for communication. Maybe open up the channels for communication. This relationship de-escalation process could be gradual or more abrupt, such as following a relational transgression prompting a breakup. Friends or romantic partners could drift apart slowly or have a clear shift/break in the relationship, and the interactions will be different depending on the path. Very, very important to note. So just as there is social penetration, there can be social depenetration or de-escalation or dissolution. Damn, this turned into something serious, didn't it? I will not have it. You know what? This is why my whiteboard is up. We're going to do something that's not serious. We're going to draw the onion, and I have notes over here to help me out. The onion of social penetration. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then this is the BREAD, is the breadth of topics you discuss, and this is the depth of topics you discuss. So let's get a different color here. Where are my colors? All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, let's see if I remember this. Oh, my teacher's going to be so upset. I can't remember. Superficial, intimate, personal, and core. Okay. Superficial, self-explanatory. Superficial, intimate, personal, and core. Core is the deepest level you can go with somebody. Okay? And it's very deep. So superficial, what do y'all think that is? It's going to make a lot of sense because we all do it. Hey, why aren't you writing? It's not picking up my pen. Okay, you do over here, huh? Likes and dislikes. Okay, my pen goes out over here for some reason. I don't know. Likes and dislikes. Favorites. When you're getting to know somebody, what are some of the things you ask? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? Where's your favorite place to go? To travel? Oh, yeah. Intimate. That's what things like political views come in. Social attitudes. Great stuff. Personal. That's where it gets a little bit deeper because you're peeling back the layers. Peel back. Peel back. So you get spiritual values. Fears. That's a big deal when you start to hear people's fears. Hopes, goals, fantasies, aspirations, secrets. Everybody likes to know secrets, right? That is very bonding. And this one, number 4. core. That is when you get to know just who the person is. Self-concept, we've talked about them before. Self-concept, self-perception, their identity, who they think they are. Oh yeah, that is the deepest level you can go with somebody. A lot of people chalk up this first stage, which is the superficial, the first layer, as small talk. Some people hate small talk. So you can skip it, or you can try to. I personally I don't mind small talk, I suppose, but just one girl comes to mind. I remember her saying, "Well, I hate this sort of stuff. Can you just tell me your deepest, darkest secret?" Guess what I figured out about her? She liked trauma bonding. So it just depends on the person. And like we've said before, when it comes, what is it, third layer? No, second layer, which is intimate. Got to be careful with political views and stuff like that. But that, the whole point is, this is how you go deeper. And a lot of times people do this automatically without even knowing it. And just the important note is that it takes time. Sometimes you can bypass it, sometimes you can't. Just depends on the person, and by golly, everybody's different. So, practical applications. The social penetration theory. Try and peel people back as if they were an onion with 4 layers. And if you want to be intimate with somebody, get to the core, or try to get to the core. If they don't want you to get to the core, you're not going to get to the core. So, yes, play the game. Play the social game, my dear friends. And I'm going to see you all in the next video because it's going to be a good one. Thanks so much.